What's up, everyone? Kaiji no Kami here. As promised, this is Q&A session number 8, I think. I think it's number 8 because I believe July was number 7. Either way, it's been a while since I've done one, so I had you guys send me questions, and a lot of you did so. So I'm going to just start right off the bat because this video is going to be unedited, and I don't want to take like 2 hours to answer these all. See, I'm already screwing up, but whatever the case, I'm not going to take like 2 hours to answer these, so let's just get started right away. And I hope you guys are having a great December. Lone Wolf. At 1984 Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf. Have you read House of X, Powers of X, and if so, what are your thoughts? I have not. I just really don't have an interest in reading a lot of the modern day comics, especially for X-Men. For me, X-Men ended with Age of Apocalypse. I have not enjoyed anything after Age of Apocalypse at all that I've tried to read. I don't like when they redid the designs to match the movie costumes, because they weren't really costumes, they were just emo, wannabe goth jackets and stuff. And when I tried to read one story that featured Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magic, Magneto was wearing all white and was working with S.H.I.E.L.D. as a spy and spying on the X-Men, and Dormammu wanted magic. It was just a load of crap, so I didn't care for it. That was the last thing I've ever touched for X-Men. I am not a fan of all this modern stuff with it. But then I'm not really a fan of a lot of the modern day comics. Like, DC has screwed up practically everything that made Rebirth great, especially if you're a Wally West fan. And you know what, though? There are so many comics from the Silver Age, the Bronze Age, that I never read, that I'm enjoying rereading those more than even bothering with modern stuff. I figure I might as well read all that stuff first, and then when I'm done reading all that stuff, then I will come into the modern stuff. I mean, I did read a Doctor Strange book recently called The Sorcerer Supreme, which was about all these different Sorcerer Supremes from throughout time. That was okay. The highlight really was Spider-Man's quippage when he appeared. I'm not really a fan of the modern stuff, though. Alright. Bakugo Katsuki the Flash asks, have you seen My Hero Academia? I have not. Mostly because I'm a One Piece fan, so I really don't want to get into anything that has an unknown length this time, especially because Attack on Titan I got into because it was the rumor that, and like it was saying that it was going to be 20 volumes long, and it ended up being right now there's like 30 coming out. Supposedly it's ending next year, but I don't want to get into more long manga series. I've got Yu-Gi-Oh!, which was 38 volumes, Dragon Ball, which now has Super going on, and as I said, One Piece. So I haven't really gotten into My Hero Academia, and I'm not big on anime series that are doing these season stuff. Granted, I love the fact that they're not just filling the show up with filler, where it's like 10 episodes of manga material. Now we have 100 episodes of filler. So much so that we're going to have to change the name of the show to tell you we're back to manga material. But I'm in no rush to see My Hero Academia. It depends really how long it ends up being. If it's like only 100 episodes or so in total, or like less than 200, I'll probably check it out. Otherwise, I don't know. I am curious about it, though. Do you like Beast Morphers so far? I've actually only watched the first 2 episodes, and I liked what I saw. It's just, it came out when I had a lot of things going on, and sometimes a lot of shows, especially if they're on TV, I don't have motivation to watch them when I have other things that I own on disc to watch. I'm more motivated to watch things if I own them. Like, granted, I'm kind of doing a poor job of the Power Rangers 20 Seasons box set. I haven't watched RPM or Ninja Storm yet, even though I had watched Hurricaneger and Goanger earlier this year. But it took me about 6 months to get through Wild Force because I found it that boring. So by the time I actually got through Wild Force, I had just Beyond was coming out. Then we have all these Ultraman releases. I was working on Shinkenger. Then I just decided to impulse watch Ghost Sager. I started Ninja in November. I've only been able to get through 11 episodes. Not because it's bad, which it is bad, but just because I've been busy with Ultraman Orb, G, Ultraman, Ultra 7, Ultra Q, and so forth. So I will probably try to check out Beast Morphers in the summertime, which means it'll probably be closer to when the series is nearly done. And that's the other thing. The series isn't even near done yet, so no rush. What is your best and least favorite Power Rangers season? My favorite, as of this moment, is probably SPD. I liked how it... I didn't like Deca Ranger. I didn't like how Deca Ranger was just episodic. There was no continuous plot, no main villains. I did like some of the characters of Deca Ranger. Like I did like Jasmine, I did like Hoji, and Senchan. That was the green one, right? Senchan. But I thought SPD was a much better series because it had main villains. I liked the way they did Doggy Kruger in SPD. He looked like an alien mutt instead of just a Muppet. Not that I had anything wrong with him in Deca Ranger, but I liked the way they did him better in SPD. In fact, that's why I own his Lightning Collection figure. I'll just put him back there instead of trying to get him back in there. Because I'm going to actually collect the SPD Power Rangers Lightning line for the Power Rangers team on that one, not the Sentai team, like I'm doing with some of the other Lightning Collection guys. My least favorite Power Rangers season, Operation Overdrive. I find it awful. I could barely sit through it. I mean, I didn't watch every episode. I couldn't bring myself to watch every episode. Well, same with Mystic Force. I couldn't bring myself to watch every episode. But Operation Overdrive was just a new kind of terrible, even by Power Ranger standards. And the villains, they might as well have just called them Mr. Snow and not Mr. Snow, whatever the Miser Brothers were. I felt like they were the Miser Brothers. You had the Fire Dude and the Ice Dude. They could have just been singing, I'm Mr. Christmas, da-da-da. We are the Miser Brothers, blah, blah, blah. What do you think is the next Sentai that will be the next Power Rangers? I'm going to say they're probably going to do Zyuohger, but I would like to see them tackle Tokuger. But I would not be surprised if they went right to Zyuohger, or actually they might even just skip to Q Ranger, given how much they can do space stuff with it. But I think Zyuohger will probably be the next series that they adapt. Are you excited for the Sailor Moon Crystal Dream Arc movie, and do you think we will be getting Stars arc for Crystal? I'm sure we're going to get the Stars arc. I just figure, depending if it's going to be movie or TV show, will probably depend on how well the movies do. Because if the movies for Dream Arc do not do well in theaters, Toei's probably going to put their D team on to adapt the last arc in TV form, and it's going to look worse than seasons 1 and 2 did. I am excited to see Dream Arc because that actually was my favorite arc in the manga. I felt that was the arc when the manga actually, where Takeuchi felt like she actually was getting some writing together. Because I was not a fan of the first 3 arcs for the most part in the manga, especially because all the characters that weren't named Usagi and Mamoru got sent to the wayside. Whereas with the Dream Arc, they actually started to develop the other Senshi. So I am looking forward to seeing the Dream Arc. I'm just kind of skeptical on how it's going to work as a movie, because the TV series versions already felt rushed, being 13 episodes. Or 12 episodes, 14 episodes. Trying to do them all in 2-hour movies is going to be a lot of material to fill. Alright. Oh, man. Some of these names did not print out. I forgot to put those back in black ink because I ran out of color ink, so... Crap. Okay, I have some questions on here with no names because I don't know who sent them. Shoot. Okay, his name is on there. Alright, well, sorry I can't give your name. I hope you know that this is your question, though. 1. You've said before you are a huge James Bond fan. What movies and classic Ian Fleming novels would you recommend to someone interested in getting into the Bond series? Oh, I've read the first 8 novels, which is Casino Royale through Thunderball. Or is it 7? One, two, whatever. Well, for novels, my favorite is From Russia with Love. I love that, like, the first 60, 70 pages don't even have James Bond in it. It's building up the main villain of the novel, Shaw, who is, Shaw, right? Or am I thinking of the actor's name who played the character in the movie? Either way, From Russia with Love is my favorite novel, and I love how it kind of leaves off to be continued into the Dr. No novel. Casino Royale was pretty good. Not Thunderball. Thunderball was good, especially with the scenes with Blofeld. But Moonraker was really good in the book. I have no idea what the hell happened for the movie version. Now, for the movies, I would say watch the Sean Connery Lazenby group. It's all one continuous storyline. They're really well done. Sean Connery, for a while, was my second favorite Bond because Daniel Craig was my favorite. But after the fumbles they've made with Daniel Craig in recent years, I'm going to say that Sean Connery is my favorite Bond because he was consistent. Even though Diamonds Are Forever is not the greatest Bond movie, it still was a conclusion to the other stuff, and it was still Sean Connery doing his Sean Connery charms, even if the writing was not up to par. Plus, there's two characters in there, Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd, that were kind of cool. So I'd say watch the Sean Connery, George Lazenby movies. On Her Majesty's Secret Service is such an incredible movie. It's my third favorite Bond movie. And from what I hear, I haven't read the novel yet, but I've heard it's the closest to the novels of all the movies, which is pretty cool. So yeah, watch the Sean Connery stuff and read. Well, technically, you should probably just read the books in order because they have a consistent narrative going along with some continuity. But if you're going to just only read two books, From Russia with Love, followed by Dr. No. 2. From what you've seen so far, what are your favorite stories from every Doctor in Doctor Who? Ooh, okay. The War Games for Patrick Troughton. I've only seen a couple stories from Hartnell, so I can't really say with Hartnell. If I picked a story from Hartnell, it would be the 10th Planet. But I've only seen four Hartnell stories. I've seen half of Troughton's run, so the 10th Planet. The War Games, followed by Tomb of the Cybermen. For Pertwee, I've actually only seen a couple of his stories because I just started up watching Pertwee's run from start to finish because my local library has almost every story that I don't already own on disc. So I'm going to be checking those out and I'm going to be watching his whole thing from start to finish. But right now, my favorite Pertwee story is Spearhead from Space, which is his first one. I love the way the Autons are done and all that stuff. Tom Baker is the Talons of Wing Chun, although anything from his first 3 seasons, or almost anything from his first 3 seasons, are pretty much the best Doctor Who has to offer. But the Talons of Wing Chun would definitely be number 1. In fact, it's probably my favorite Doctor Who episode overall of the entire franchise. I also loved Brain of Morbius, Seeds of Doom, Pyramids of Mars, Terror of the Zygons, Planet of Evil, The Deadly Assassin, all that good stuff. Robots of Death. Peter Davison, The Caves of Androzani, with a tie between Kinda and Black Orchid. I love the old school horror movie feel of Black Orchid. Well, that's also why I love the Tom Baker early stuff. For Colin Baker, I really did not like his run, but Terror of the Vervoids would be my favorite story. And what's pretty cool is the recent Blu-ray release of Colin Baker Season 2, or Season 23 if you're going by the season numbers. They did a version of Terror of the Vervoids that cuts out all of the trial stuff. So it's just the Terror of the Vervoid story, and it's pretty awesome in that way. It makes it far more enjoyable without having the trial interruptions. For Sylvester McCoy, it's a toss-up between The Happiness Patrol and The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Both of those episodes are just phenomenal. Like, the Happiness Patrol actually makes me think of what We Happy Few should have been, and The Greatest Show in the Galaxy was just incredible all around. I especially love the guy that got to play the Ringmaster in that one. For David Tennant, it's The Girl in the Fireplace, followed by The Silence in the Library, The Forest of the Dead two-parter. For Matt Smith, it's a toss-up between A Christmas Carol and Vincent and the Doctor. And then for Capaldi, it would be the Face the Raven, Heaven Sent, Hellbent three-parter. If you only want me to pick one Capaldi one, it would be Heaven Sent. That episode alone is like a Clock Tower video game, and Capaldi does such an amazing job at talking about himself, or by himself, having to just be on his own with no other actors to interact with. Such a great episode. One of the best of the franchise as well. As for Whitaker, if I have to pick one, Kerblam. That was the only episode. Well, that one and the Demons of Punjab I kind of liked. I think it was that one where they go back into Yaz's time. Yaz was my favorite character from season 11. But yeah, so those are my top favorite episodes from Doctor Who for each run, for each era, as of this moment in time. Hartnell's probably going to be a while before I really check out most of his stuff. Like I said, we're going to be doing Pertwee. So then sometime I'll have to backtrack to Hartnell. Or what I might do with Hartnell is just wait until they end up doing some Blu-ray releases. I'm really hoping even though there are missing episodes, they're going to do like a William Hartnell, the incomplete season 1. Patrick Troughton, the incomplete season 3. And so forth. Let's see. Shoot. Still more no names. I didn't even think about that. Question for your Q&A. Thanks for this chance. If you answer this question or don't, that's okay. Question. What qualities make a good Red Ranger in both Power Rangers and Sentai? What qualities make a good Red Ranger and make a good Red Ranger? Well, one, you need to be a role model for your team. You can't be some whiny little brat who's screaming all over the place as if you forgot to take your medication. You need to be the one to say, whoa, we're going to do this. I'm going to take you down. Perfect example is Matoi from Go-Go 5. He is hands down the best Red Ranger ever because he does whatever is necessary for his team. He does what is best for the people of Japan and the Earth. And he will just go all out if he needs to, if it's going to save other people from being harmed. So I want to go a Red Ranger who's going to be the strong, mature type who will not give an order unless they're willing to do it themselves, and so forth. Another one with no name, damn it. Here's some questions to Q&A. I hope I'm not late. No, you were very early. 1. Do you think Image Comics and their characters should get more exposure like Marvel and DC and their characters? It depends. I feel like Image, the problem with Image is a lot of their characters were just bootleg versions of Marvel characters that already existed. Like Deathblow was Punisher. Spawn was like a broody version of Spider-Man. Youngblood was just X-Men. Oh, no, Wildcats. No, Wildcats and X-Men were both kind of... Wildcats and Youngblood were both kind of like X-Men. Like, what's his name in Wildcats? Oh my god. I can't think of his name now. Hellspawn's the villain. Grifter was just Gambit. Zealot was just basically Wonder Woman. Or Rogue. Mr. Majestic was just wannabe Superman. I can't think of the guy's name now. He was my favorite character in the team. Well, besides Voodoo. But he was basically just Deadpool. No, he wasn't Deadpool. The villain was Deadpool. That's right. Warblade was not. Yeah, Warblade was my favorite, not the mascot. Who am I thinking of? I don't know. But there was a villain who was basically just Deadpool. Hellspawn was kind of cool, though. I would love to see Wildcats actually get more exposure. I'd love to see Wildcats get a brand new toy line, even though I'm not 100% sure I would buy it, especially given DC's track record for how well they want to release non-Batman related stuff. But I wouldn't mind Wildcats. I think there was also a Wildcats comic where they stepped away from being fully X-Men copycats and did their own thing, where like they were, one of them was dressed up as like a cowboy or whatever. That seemed like a cool idea. Even though I'm big on superhero costumes, I did like the concept for that one. But for the most part, I don't think Image characters have anything for themselves to go on. Like Shadowhawk was just Darkhawk. And I mean, I loved Spawn in the 90s. I loved reading Spawn. But then for me, Spawn lost me after Spawn defeated Malboja in issue 100. Because Malboja was like the main villain. He beats him and then suddenly he's like, oh, well, it turns out Malboja was not the main villain. He was just the lackey of the other devils. What? No, that's not how that works. Don't pull this Final Fantasy bullshit. But I would love to see the HBO cartoon get a continuation that concludes the story. Although, if they could find a way to... The Max was pretty cool, though. He was kind of original. Savage Dragon was just a mature version of Hulk. But I did like the cartoon series from the 90s. But, I don't know. It depends how they can do it. If they can make them stand out from being just a copycat, then sure, I'd love to see them try it. 2. Have you ever played J-Stars Victory Versus? Jump All-Stars Victory Versus? Is that the fight? Is that one of the fighting games where they're all fighting each other? If so, I have not. In fact, I have not played any of the Shonen Jump fighting games. Just because there's other video games I want. I'm not big into fighters, especially these days when half of the roster cast is DLC. It's like either give me the full freaking cast in the game, or I'm not buying your game. I will wait for the complete edition. It's just like with Mortal Kombat. What pisses me off is they have all this DLC. You buy like $40 worth of DLC and there's only like 3 Mortal Kombat characters and the rest are these movie character properties. Yeah, cool. As cool as it is to play a Xenomorph in Mortal Kombat, I'm playing Mortal Kombat for Mortal Kombat characters. If you want to do a Xenomorph or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers or Freddy, I already said Freddy, I guess, do a horror movie icons fighting game in Mortal Kombat style. Can be like the DC Injustice for All, but with horror movies. Do horror icons melee or something like that. Don't keep putting them in Mortal Kombat and in DC and all that crap. Would you like to see a Metal Heroes make a return? Yes, kind of, but only if Toei is willing to actually put the effort into it. If they're not willing to put effort into it, then no. In fact, what I really think they need to do is they need to take the Super Aya Ultraman approach and turn Sentai into a half-year show and have Metal Heroes be the other half. Since Kamen Rider is their big prize money, Kamen Rider stays a year-long show, but then we have from like March through July is Super Sentai. August through February is Metal Heroes, and so forth. What have they got to lose by doing that? One, this means you can tighten up your Sentai storytelling, because right now the series suck as is, especially when it comes to villains. Alright, but so it depends. But if it's going to be in the current model, like Toei's been doing with Super Sentai, then no, I would not like to see Metal Heroes return because Toei's not really going to put any effort into it. Plus, I mean, Kamen Rider in some ways has taken on the Metal Heroes persona. What are your thoughts on the COPPA and the FTC situation? Well, of course we know now about it, that it was overblown. I always thought it was overblown. I thought people were jumping the gun a little too quickly before we actually knew exactly what was going to happen. The FTC said they're going to pretty much use it on a common sense basis. They're not just going to go, oh, you review toys, you're being fined. Oh, you do that, you're being fined. And YouTube has said that when you choose my content is not solely geared towards children, that is the general audience's option. So I think we're going to be fine. I think people just freaked out too much because they didn't know enough about it, and YouTube didn't exactly do things very well with it. I get it. I get why they're doing it. Like, as a teacher, a lot of schools have their own YouTube channels now where they'll do like the morning announcements with the pledge on their YouTube channel. And if people could post comments on there, the normal YouTube comments, it would be kind of horrifying, the comments people would do. Oh, this principal is a blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't... Ooh, blah, blah, blah. So I get what they're doing, and I get why they're doing it. And I think I can understand it. I think, though, now that things have been set much clearer, even though there are still going to be a few people freaking out over it, I think people freaked out over nothing. Yay! One that had a name come up. Earth M78 Studios. Hi, Kaji no Kami. This is Chris, aka Earth M78 Studios. Just a couple of questions. Welcome back. Have you ever thought of making stop-motion videos with your figures? I see your Godzilla collection behind all the time, among others, so I was wondering if you considered trying stop-motion. I have considered it. I have thought about it. But it's a lot of work. I did a stop-motion thing in one of my reviews at one point, and just that, 10 seconds of stop-motion took me about 25 minutes worth of work. So, I would like to try it again at some point. I want to try some other ideas that I have. So yes, I want to do it. It's just really, do I have the time for it? And do I have the patience for it? The other thing is making sure that even though it is stop motion and I'm using it with my own figures, is it going to get something copyrighted by someone who says, hey, you're using our character's image? Like, I know Big Bad Toy Store has been doing these pretty cool stop-motion commercials with, Figure Arts and Marvel Legends. So, I don't know. The other problem is, I would like to do, an X-Men type opening thing with stop-motion, but I can't use the X-Men anime theme song for copyright reasons. So, I don't know how I would want to go about that. Alright. I hope that answers that question. I don't know if you've mentioned this, but are you willing to review any of the Ultra series that are coming out on Blu-ray? Well, DVD, but I'm assuming you mean Blu-ray. Geed, Orb, Zero. Of course. As you probably have already seen, I released Orb last month. I am releasing Geed Christmas Day. Although I might release it tomorrow for Patreon supporters, I just have to actually get the chance to watch the final version and make sure there were no glitches that occurred. Like earlier this year, if you watch my top 10 Twilight Zone episodes, for some reason, for the post-credits scene that I had of Chucky and Talkie Tina, for some reason the audio did not come out on what was supposed to be my final version. So I had to re-render it, but it was already uploaded on YouTube. Everyone already watched it. So the YouTube version doesn't have any audio of the post-credits scene. And I wasn't going to re-upload the whole thing on YouTube just for a post-credits scene. In fact, maybe I will show it at some point in a news report, because I was actually going to do that and forgot about it until now that I'm thinking about it. But, yes, I am going to review them all. I don't know how fast I'm going to get to them. Obviously, Geed came out over a month ago, and I'm just releasing that, reviewing that now. Zero, I'll get and review. It also depends on how long they are and what I'm doing at the time. Obviously, if it's we're going to cons, I'm not going to get through them as quickly. Also depends how many are getting released at one time. Fortunately, after I finish Ultra 7, I have a break between Ultra 7 and The Return of Ultraman and Orb Origin, so I can hopefully get through Ninja at that time, along with Godzilla King of the Monsters, and maybe one other thing. That's all I've got. Have a good day. Well, you have a good day too. Page 2, and I am 30 minutes into this. Holy crap. I've been talking a lot. Actually, it's probably not 30 minutes, because it took me a few minutes to get started. But, The Russian Wanderer. Have your thoughts changed on Flashman now that it has been fully subbed? I have not actually watched the fully fan sub versions. The thing is, I have so much other Sentai to watch, and now with Ultraman, I just don't have time to go back to watch Flashman at this moment in time. I will wait until I'm fully finished with all the other Sentai shows before I go back and rewatch Flashman, unless Shout Factory or someone ends up releasing it in the US subtitled on DVD. Then I will go back and watch it. But for right now, it's deleted off my hard drive. Well, the versions I have deleted off the hard drive because I'm going through another series. I have come to the conclusion that I can't keep every Sentai show on my hard drive, so I'm pretty much deleting them after I finish reviewing them, unless it's a special occasion like Geki Ranger and I don't know. But right now, Geki Ranger and I kept Shinkenger for right now. I didn't keep. Okay, I guess I didn't keep Flashman because it wasn't fully subbed, so I deleted that file. But I don't see a point in re-downloading the fan subs right now, even though I'm sure Metallic has done an incredible job with it. I'm just in no rush to see it again, even though I loved it. Do you think Sentai is mistreated, and you think that Shirakura is behind it? Shirakura? I'm not familiar with that. Is that the producer? Sentai is mistreated? Of course. Sentai is like the bastard redheaded stepchild that nobody wants right now. Toei, I feel like they're just doing Sentai because it's on autopilot. It's tradition. At this point, Sentai has been on for so long. Toei is like, well, we can't not have a Sentai series because it's tradition. People expect there to be a Sentai series, and they don't like to break tradition. That's why I think they don't do breaks anymore for series, and why Kamen Rider has been going nonstop. Again, try the half-year format. Do you think there should be more videos about saying that Sentai sucks nowadays? Not really. I mean, we make it pretty apparent. One guy gets annoyed on my Twitter feed, or on Twitter, because every time we talk about Ryu Soldier, I talk about how much I hate it. So, there's enough out there. When will Shout Factory release 5-Man? Who knows at this point? Again, I think Shout Factory did intend to release 5-Man, but then the Hasbro acquisition of Saban, the Power Rangers franchise, really put a stop to that. Not because Hasbro's like, no, you are not releasing Sentai. Just more of Hasbro going, hey, we can't let you release any more Sentai right now because we have all this paperwork we have to go through to check our contracts. We have to see what we own, what we don't own, who gets paid what, who no longer gets paid what, and so forth. So until we're done with all of that, we can't let you release any more Sentai. And Shout Factory, what are they going to do? Like, oh, no, you can't do that. No. They're like, okay, let us know when you can. So I say they probably intended to release 5-Man until the whole Hasbro acquisition was finalized. Do you think there should be... I heard that. What if Michael Bay directed an Ultraman movie? Thoughts on TV's Nihon... Or what if Michael Bay directed an Ultraman movie? It would suck. He'd probably have an overly sexualized Ultra woman in it. And it'd be... I mean, at least the effects would probably look good, but it would probably be too much CGI. Thoughts on TV Nihon subs? I really don't have any thoughts on them because I don't watch them anymore. Not because they're bad subs, but I prefer soft subs, and their files are all hard subs. So I just really don't watch anything from TV Nihon. I did like that they would do specialized fonts, but I don't, like I said, I don't watch them, so I don't have an opinion. Alright, perfect ad stuff. Eden Daferitis Foresta, the name I can never pronounce. How would you rank the main Toku franchises from best to worst? Ultraman, Super Sentai, Garo, Kamen Rider, Metal Heroes. Well, number one, despite how bad it's gotten in recent years, number one will still be Sentai in my book. Number two would be Kamen Rider. Number three would be Garo. Number 4 would be Ultraman, and number 5 would be Metal Heroes. That'd be my ranking. If I was told I could only watch one Toku franchise, it would be Sentai in a heartbeat, no questions asked. No matter what, because there's just so many good shows that I'm not going to condemn the bad ones. And that is the problem when you're running 44 series. You're going to have a lot of bad. Which Kamen Rider series do you think are most deserving of official English sub releases? Well, I want Blade, but I would say The safe choice to start with, the best choice would be Double. Double would probably be the best one to start with, or Gaim, because they could also market Gaim as from the man who brought you Psychopaths and Madoka Magica. Or just start with the current one, 01. That'd be probably the best, especially because 01 has been phenomenal so far. So that'd be another great one to start with. Personally, I would like Blade or even Black, but I would say Double or Gaim or 01 would be the best place to start. Or at least to be your launch series. If you just mean series in general, or maybe you mean all of the ones, I think Stronger, Black, Kuga, Agito, Ryuki, Blade, Kiva, Double, O's, Forze, Gaim, Build, 01. Those would be my choices if I was told I couldn't have every Kamen Rider series subtitled in official capacity. I would need to have it just certain series. Those would be the series I would pick. What are some of your least favorite Toku episodes of all time? Ooh. Any clip show. I hate clip shows. I especially hate clip shows that have important information in them. Those are the worst because you have to waste your time watching a clip show and get like 1 minute of important information. Other least favorite, just episodes in general. It's hard to say. Sometimes it's just hard to say. Sometimes I find episodes that are very, very childish to a serious series to not go with the tone. Other ones I find that sometimes a series can be it's hard to say. If it has a fart joke and the fart joke just seems kind of random and in there just because haha fart joke, then I'll tend to not like it. Or if you have a train boner like in Toku, that's what killed that show for me. Let's see. Where am I? I hope that answers your questions. Like I said, I can't really answer exact episodes specifically because right now there's so many episodes to choose from. It's like I can't even think of them at the moment. Throat Warbler Mangrove. I hope I said that right. Throat Warbler Mangrove. Hi there. Throat Warbler Mangrove here, and I have a question for you. Cool. With all the movies, shows, series that you watch and review, does it ever start to feel more of a job and you realize you're just not having as much fun doing it? And if so, how do you combat that feeling? Yes, sometimes. When I do themed months, it can sometimes feel like a job because I am trying to get through a certain set of things for that month in a set period of time. If I have like, oh my god, I have to get through like these things, boom, 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 then yes, it can feel like work. Like Halloween month did this year. Even though I try to start working on Halloween month reviews in September, a lot happened this year. A lot's been going on this year, and it did make that month actually always seems like work, no matter what. Because no matter how much I pre-plan for it, there's always something that is like, oh, this gets in the way or that gets in the way. Like one thing I did when I did my remake month earlier this year, I actually started reviewing those movies in January, and I just took my sweet time with them, reviewed them as is, edited the review as is, and I waited until I was done with all 4 reviews before I decided to establish. Well, no, I had 3 of the 4 done when I decided to set May as my remake month, and I just had to finish the one which I finished early April for remake month. And then the cool thing about having them all done in advance was I didn't feel like I was having to rush, and I was able to release them a week early for each Patreon supporter, or for the Patreon supporters. There are times sometimes if I'm doing a Patreon request, as much as it kind of sucks to say it like this, sometimes it can feel like I'm it worked. Not really because the Patreon request asked me to do it, but more so because I want to get that Patreon request done in a certain amount of time so that the person doesn't feel like they paid $50 for nothing. Like when I did Magic Knight Rares earlier this year for Pasta Cat, it was pretty awesome because he didn't want me to do any, like, no specific time span, just get it done when you get it done. But in my mindset, it's like, well, you're paying me to review this, so I want to get it done as soon as possible. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do the first season right away, and then I'll work on the second season in the summertime. And I hope it was worth it to him. I hope he enjoyed them. It sounds like he did when we talked, but since he also moved to another state, I haven't actually talked to him face-to-face. But, yeah, Immortal that I did last week kind of felt like work, especially because the movie was terrible. Yamato Takeru or Orochi the Eight-Headed Dragon, that felt like work to review. Jason X kind of felt like work. Jason Goes to Hell felt like work. And that was the other thing. The Friday the 13th reviews, because I was releasing them for specific dates, did also at times feel like work because it was like, oh man, I have to get this done in time for the 13th. So that's why I'm glad I'm done with the Friday the 13th series, because I don't want to have to make it feel like work. And now that I don't have any Friday the 13th movies to get done by a certain date, I'm good. And it's just like Halloween. There's only one Halloween movie left, which I'll review in October. It's probably not going to be for Halloween, just because I might want to have it out before the Halloween Kills comes out. But most Toku shows, when I'm reviewing them, they don't feel like work. Unless I have 5 Ultraman series to work on in like a set time frame. But most of the time, I'm enjoying this. I mean, I get to watch what I love and review at the same time. It's so much fun. Sometimes, yes, when I'm video editing, there are days where I just can't focus on the video editing. And if I'm trying to meet a specific goal because I want to do something, then it can feel like work. But, you know, 80% of the time, I'm enjoying every single second I do. Unless you're Go-Onger. Then watching that was painful. But, overall, it doesn't really feel like work that often. Sometimes it does, but then I just think about how once I get this thing done, it means I don't have to do it again. Boom, out there. I hope that answered your question. Bunch of no's with no names. Shoot. I totally forgot to fix it. Alright. Any plans for more Kamen Rider or Super Sentai reviews? Yes, of course. As I said, I've got Ninja in the works. I'm also going to actually do Battle Fever J once I'm done with Ninja, assuming there's no Shout Factory announcements before then. I do have a Kamen Rider review plan for next year. I'm not saying what it is yet in case I don't get to it. I don't want to get everyone all excited and then be like, yep, so it's November now, and I haven't actually gotten to watch more than 10 episodes of this series the entire year. Favorite Sentai so far? Favorite Kamen Rider so far? Favorite Ultraman so far? Favorite Sentai? Die Ranger. Favorite Kamen Rider? Blade. Favorite Ultraman? 7. Favorite Toku of the decade? Well, this is the interesting thing. For me, as I've mentioned in my reviews, I consider years 1 to 10 a decade, not 0 to 9. So to me, the decade still has another year to go. But favorite Toku of what's currently out for this decade? Garo Makai Senki. Garo Makai Senki would be my favorite. Followed by, well, toss up between Ultraman Orb and Kamen Rider Gaim. But 01 is getting up there. So we'll see. Favorite Sentai, so... Wait. Oh. That one I got put on there twice for some reason. Okay. Future plans on YouTube. Well, next year hits my 5th anniversary. So I'm thinking about maybe, I'm not going to plan to have them out next month. I'm going to take my time over the year with it to celebrate my 5th anniversary. But I'm considering doing reviews of Godzilla King of the Monsters, the 56 version, Gigantus the Fire Monster, and then Godzilla 1985. Or I might just do a Steve Martin video on 1985 and King of the Monsters. I haven't fully figured it out yet. But that's what I'm thinking about doing for my 5th year anniversary. Obviously, more Ultraman, The Return of Ultraman, and Ultraman Orb Origin are coming out in February. Ninja, I'm going to get done at some point. Sailor Moon Crystal Season 3, I'm going to get done at some point. Battle Fever J. I do want to review Gatchaman, since now I've bought the Blu-ray set a second time for review, because I bought the new edition. So Gatchaman is at some point going to get reviewed, but I'll probably wait till I finish Sailor Moon, because I'll do Super S and Stars next year. I'm also hoping to have a new opening theme sometime next year. I was originally hoping that I could get it for my 5th, to launch it with my 5th anniversary, but the person I was in talks with to do an opening theme got really busy, so he's not able to do it, so I'm going to have to start looking for someone else to do it. Because I'd like to do a new opening theme and use my new logo that you've seen me use in my those thing that sponsor Loot Crate video. There's a new updated one because somebody had updated my logo for me to turn into a vector file, and then Silver Quill helped put the spinning Kaiju no Kami text around it, because I want to do t-shirts. I just need funding so I can actually get funding to do t-shirts, so then I can sell t-shirts. We also wanted to do, we were planning to launch this year the Toku and Animation News Network, or TAN. It didn't happen. We had planned this out last year. Like I just said, it didn't happen. We got, fortunately, Advent Nebula and Krillin King were able to launch Pop Culture Therapy, which I hope you guys have been enjoying and watching. So we're going to try to figure out something for next year, another thing to launch, or maybe try some different things. Would you guys be interested in me doing some type of Super Sentai commentary as I watch an episode? I can't obviously show you the episode because of copyright reasons, but would you be interested in just seeing if I just recorded myself watching an episode, sitting on the couch and talking about what I'm seeing or what's going on, or if I'm just quiet looking at if I'm having any facial reactions? Is that something you guys would be interested in? Let me know. It's an idea. I do want to do more Power Rangers versus Super Sentai videos. I actually was originally planning to do 3 of them this year, which was going to be Zeo and O-Ranger, and then Mega Ranger and Power Rangers Turbo. Yes, I said Turbo, but life just got in the way again. So a lot of this year did not go as planned. So there is a lot planned. I'm going to finish the last Toho Kaiju movie I have sometime next year, Latitude Zero. I will get that reviewed. And then I also have Baron Munchausen from Crystal Edge Bloodborne, who was the one that gave me the Switch to do Immortal, and Smash Brothers to do Baron Munchausen. I might do Freddy vs. Jason next year. I'm not sure yet. I'm kind of just taking a break from not having any Friday the 13th dates to actually get set. In fact, I'm not probably going to do any themes next year, except for Halloween month. I don't think I'm going to do any specific themes next year, just because I need a break from it. And I will also review Kong Skull Island before Kong vs. Godzilla comes out. And that's pretty much it right now. I want to review Turbo Ranger, but I'm not reviewing any more Sentai shows until the fan subs are completed. I'm not going to have another Dynaman situation where I am watching the show and I get caught up to the fan subs and then no more fan subs come out for 2 years. So if Wandering Moonbeams does finish Turbo Ranger next year, I will make the attempt to review Turbo Ranger next year. Alright, I hope that answers your question. Another one I didn't get. Favorite Digimon? Black War Metogreymon. That was easy. Dynamic Revolution. And I am almost an hour, and I am just getting to page 3 now. How does it feel to almost have the entire Sentai franchise reviewed? Great. I love it. Except I'm only 25 series in, so I still have 20 more to go. And then 5 more after that. But it feels good. It's actually quite refreshing that I got 8 series reviewed this year. And then I just enjoyed rewatching Kaku Ranger and Gingo Man this year just because I want to rewatch those. So, I don't think I'm going to get 8 more series reviewed next year because of Ultraman, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm hoping for Ninja I'm going to get done, Battle Fever J, hopefully Turbo Ranger, maybe Alba Ranger, hopefully Denjimon, and that's all I'm going to set to plan for Sentai, is I'm going to attempt to do 5 series for next year. Not going to guarantee I'm going to get through 5, but then I didn't plan to have 8 done this year, so we'll see. But yes, it's a great feeling knowing that I have 25 series done. Are you going to get the 7 Blu-ray? And if you already have it, will you make a video review of it? I do already have it. I've been enjoying it. I've gotten 4 discs done. I will do a video review for it like I did with Ultraman. I just don't know when. It's been kind of a busy week, and I just picked up Link's Awakening for my Switch. So I actually want to just sit back and relax and play a video game for the first time in a few months instead of review stuff. So we'll see when I get to this. I might still finish it this month, but yes, I am going to do a review of it. It does suck that it came a little bit later. Post office brought it to the wrong state, so instead of my set coming the date it was supposed to come out, it came out the following Friday. So I also ended up started watching it late. So the fact that I haven't finished it now is partially because of that, because I had planned to finish it, but whatever. I'm in no rush. It's been great to revisit Ultra 7. But yes, I will be doing a Blu-ray review. It will probably be shorter than the Ultraman Blu-ray review just because most of it... Actually, I don't really have any complaints on this Ultra 7 review Blu-ray. So, outside of one episode with some wonky subtitles, but that's the translation's fault, not Mill Creek's entirely, I think. I have really... It's going to be a really quick review, and that works for me. What else do we have? What Kamen Rider series are you interested in reviewing? What Kamen Rider series am I interested in reviewing? Well, I can't say, because it'll give away what what I'm hoping to review next year. But I would also love to review Double and Kuga. Alright, Nolan Uno. Okay, well, let's see if I can get to these questions so I can keep this video from being too much longer. I'm trying to get into Kamen Rider Ultraman and other tokusatsu series. So I bought 2 Kamen Rider Black Kuga DVDs on eBay. They look fine, but discovered the picture quality was a joke. Can you please help me to find ways to watch tokusatsu shows with the best quality and not to get ripped off again when buying DVDs, please? Well, first of all, the reason the DVDs you bought looked like shit is because they were bootlegs. And they were rips of Blu-ray rips, or maybe they were TV rips, depending on who they were. But the way I say to go about this is just download them. There's a lot of fan subbers out there. There was a fan... I don't know if it's still around, but there was a fan site that would like put all the fan subs together or list the fan subs. In fact, actually... No, I don't do it on my site. But there is a website called Toku Nation. On their message board, they do have, or at least they did last time when I was there... they did have a topic that would list every single series that was subbed by every fan subber with links. You could use that. There's also Nya, Anidex. You could just type in, like, Na is a great place. You would just put in you want English translated, live action, and then you could just put in Kamen Rider. There's a whole bunch of resources. It's kind of hard because I don't want to state them a lot, because a lot of YouTube videos like this should be fine, but I noticed that some of the videos, when I was doing earlier reviews with fan subs, when I listed the fan subgroup in the credits, that the video was getting claimed by Toei. But there's overtime subs. There's TV Nihon. There's Mr. Stone, who did Black and Black RX. I don't think he did Black RX. I think he just did Black. There's a lot. There's a Sear subs. Just look them up. I mean, try searching. You could go into Google and type in the search Kamen Rider fan subs and see what comes up. Ultraman, everything's been licensed, so you should just buy the legitimate Blu-rays coming out. Same with Just Beyond for Metal Heroes. Metallic fan subs is a great place. Also, I do list some fan subbers in my blogs when some series have been finished, like when Metallic fan subs finished Flashman. I made a blog post about it. They actually did just finish a new subs for Gogol 5, the 80s version of Gogol 5, not the one that Shout Factory has released at Go 5. I don't promote this site because they're a ripoff. They're very virus prone and adware and all that crap. So I don't recommend using... Actually, I don't even remember it now. Never mind. I don't even remember what the website was called. Anyway, they're just... Go to Nya and Anadex. Those are your best bets. What are your top 10 favorite tokusatsu shows? In no order: Die Ranger, Kaku Ranger, Jude Ranger, Ultra 7, Ultraman Orb, Garo Makai Senki, Kamen Rider Blade, Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Double. Oops, I did 2 minutes. Oh well. Yeah, we'll go with those. If you were to put together an Avenger style team with only one tokusatsu hero from anywhere, who would the core 7 members be, and what role will they play? Garo, Kamen Rider Black, Kamen Rider Chalice. No, let's go with Kamen Rider Lango. Ultra 7, Shishi Ranger, Time Pink, and Dragon Ranger. What roles will they play? Meaning what types of... I don't know on that one. That would take a lot more time to think up than I can really think of right now. Garo could be like Iron Man. Shishi Ranger could... Or Ultra 7 could be Captain America. Shishi Ranger could be Hawkeye, the morale person. Time Pink would be... I mean, I know this sounds bad, but because it's female, but Black Widow. But I would need more... The hell? Son of a bitch. Michael Myers apparently did not like that answer. So I will have to pick him up, and the pumpkin fell on that shelf, the hammer fell on that shelf, and actually it doesn't look like anyone fell on the Dragon Ball shelf. Son of a bitch. Alright. Well, I guess he didn't like my answer, so I hope you liked the answer. If the Power Ranger villains meet Super Sentai villains at the bar, what hijinks would come out of it? A lot of bickering. A lot of, my series is better than your series because blah, blah, blah. Maybe. Or they just be drinking like, yeah, I know your pain, man. I know your pain. Sonic Gamer. Is there any movie, TV show, or video game you would like that you like but everyone else hates? Yes. I liked Yes, there is. But I don't know what they are right now. I mean, well, okay, I didn't think the Green Lantern movie was that bad. I did not think Green Lantern was bad at all, whereas most people hated on it. I don't think it was a very good movie, but it was entertaining. I didn't hate The Last Jedi. I don't think it's very good either, but I don't hate it. I do think it's boring, but, well, actually, I should say, I didn't hate it until Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker has made me hate this entire new trilogy completely. Video game that you liked that everyone hated. Oh, Onimusha 3. Onimusha 3 seems to get a lot of hate from people, and I don't know why. I thought it was a great game. It was a great end to the Nobunaga trilogy for Onimusha. But there's all these people that absolutely hated it. I thought the time traveling aspect was really well done. I liked how you could trade places with Samanosuke and John, but a lot of people hate it. So, yeah, I loved Onimusha 3. So there you go. There are some other movies. I didn't mind Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It's not a good movie, but I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. TV series. I guess Kamen Rider Kiva was hated. And I enjoyed Kamen Rider Kiva. I don't know why that one's hated, but it is. But I enjoyed that one. Okay, so I hope that helped in the answers. When are you going to review Bakuryu Sentai Alpha Ranger? Hopefully next year. I'm just waiting a while to see if Shout Factory announces it or not. If not, then I'm going to try to fit in the fan subs into my queue. How would you resolve the Schleswig... Oh, this one was from... Some of these are no names again, but this one was from Pasta Cat. How would you resolve the Schleswig-Holstein question? Should the provinces belong to Germany or Denmark? I actually do not remember what that is. I should have looked it up beforehand. Oops, my bad. But, yeah, I don't know. Don't know, Pasta Cat Man. Don't know. Alright, next person with no name. Actually, pretty much the rest of these have no name, so sorry. Will you do your personal Twilight Zone fan-made episodes? Do you mean will I ever make my own fan-made episodes? Same with, will you do a personal takes from Tales from the Crypt made episodes? Do you mean would I ever make my own episodes? Probably not. Copyright issues, and I just, as much as I love those franchises, I don't have the motivation. Next questions. Do you think there is going to be a third monster in King Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong? Of course. There's going to be some type of destroyer-like monster that's going to be cloned from the Ghidorah head. In fact, it's going to probably be just like Batman vs. Superman. Kong and Godzilla are fighting each other. This destroyer monster comes in, and Godzilla and Kong have to fight that monster. I hope I'm wrong, but that's how I'm expecting it to go. What do you hope for the new year? Well, I already kind of talked about that with I hope to get a new opening theme song, something that's more personalized for the channel. I'm hoping I can find funding so I can get t-shirts made, so I can sell some merchandise. I hope to get some more, hope to finish the last Toho Kaiju review I have, Latitude Zero. Hope to get in some English dubbed edited versions of Godzilla movies I've never... Plus, it'd be cool to be able to revisit some of those other movies that were some of my first reviews that were not very good by my current standards, but I had to start somewhere. What do I hope? Also, what do I hope for the new year? It to not freaking suck ass like 2019. If I have anything to say about 2019, it is fuck you, 2019. Fuck you. Favorite Shucker Kaijin? For the ones I've watched, because I've only watched a little bit of the original show, Batman, and Cobra Man. It was Cobra Man, right? Yeah, Cobra Man. Why did you want to create this channel? What made you want to create your channel? What made you want to create videos? What made you want to review stuff? What is your motivation to keep making videos? Why did I want to create this channel? Because no one was doing Godzilla reviews in the style I wanted to see. So I said, screw it. I'm going to have to make the reviews myself. And then we went out, bought equipment with our tax return, taught myself how to do video editing, and it went from there. But yes, because no one was doing reviews for the Godzilla movies, the nostalgic critic style with jokes in the spurs throughout, I was like, well, I'm going to just have to do it myself. So that's why I created my channel. That's what motivated me to create videos. Now, for Sentai, it is, one, how much everyone seems to enjoy watching my Sentai reviews that motivates me to keep going. In fact, that is what motivates me to keep making videos, is just how much everyone seems to enjoy it, how much fun people have with it. I have a lot of fun with it. If it wasn't fun, I probably wouldn't do it. But I have a lot of fun doing it. It's enjoyable to be able to watch shows, and even shows I didn't want to watch again, to give them a second chance, like Ghost Sager. I didn't want to watch that series again. In fact, I was dreading reviewing that series at some point. And then when I actually watched it back in October, just for the hell of it, to review it, it was like, hey, this series isn't actually as bad as I expected it to be. But then again, there's Go Onjur, which I thought was not going to be that bad, and I just hated every minute of it. But half of it is you guys enjoying the videos. After all, if I had no subscribers, I would have no channel, and I wouldn't have any motivation to do anything. And because I enjoy it. Although I will say sometimes it is kind of hard when you're not making enough money. And it's like, well, I want to get this review done, but I could take a sub job for that day so I can at least make some money for that day and just push my review back another week. So I've actually missed out on a lot of money making opportunities for this channel. And it's starting to hurt. Like I said, fuck you 2019. Who are your favorite Star Wars characters, and what are your favorite space battles and lightsaber duels? Favorite Star Wars characters: Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Darth Maul, for the little bit he had in the movie. And he was cool in Rebels. Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca. Mostly it'd be the original trilogy cast. I also liked Sabine. Was it Sabine in Rebels? Sabine? Shoot, I can't think of the Mandalorian girl's name. Sabine, right? And Zed. I like them a lot. But most of it's going to be... and Jin from Rogue One. I really liked her, and K2. K2 is probably my favorite Star Wars droid overall, followed by Chopper in Rebels. And I wish it'd be cool to have seen him do something in the movies. But Prince Zizor, he was pretty cool in the comics I read. I would have loved to have seen him do something in the movies, although I'm kind of glad now that they didn't, given how bad this new trilogy was. I used to be able to say Kylo Ren, but I feel like the character assassinated him in the latest movie, so he's not none of these characters in. Well, okay, the only character I will say I still liked, and that's because they really gypped him, was Finn. Finn got treated so poorly. So favorite space battles and lightsaber duels. Well, Duel of the Fates in The Phantom Menace, that to me makes that movie worth watching, worth sitting through. The battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin on whatever it is, the lava planet. That was really cool. I also love the Yoda and Palpatine duel in Revenge of the Sith. And then, of course, the Luke and Vader battles in both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. The only issue I have with the original trilogy is when it comes to lightsaber duels, they keep making all these CGI changes in the film, adding windows, making the Ewoks blink, making caves be very small than they should be, and yet they're not adding any lighting effects for lightsaber reflections. If you're gonna add all this crap, and also with Luke's lightsaber in episode 4 when it's like white more than blue, add some freaking reflections to them. If you're gonna do all this crap and add in no from Darth Vader, make the lightsabers have reflections. Okay, those are all my questions. So thank you to everyone that sent me questions. Sorry for those that I could not actually state your names on here because they did not print out because they were in blue and I'm out of blue ink. But I'm sure if you send me questions and that you heard your question read. So I hope you enjoyed the answer I gave you. That's all I really got. Look forward to G on Tuesday. If you're a Patreon supporter, you'll probably see G tomorrow unless something major goes wrong. And that's pretty much it for now. It has been an hour and 12 minutes-ish. So I've talked for a lot. This is going to be rendering for a lot. And you're probably sitting there like, come on, get this video over with. Come on, hurry up. So with that in mind, I've got to go fix up my Halloween Maiko Nika display. Love the Godzilla figures that Nika has been doing. And that's pretty much it. Bye.